100% off the strength, man.
Off the strength.
I did it all on the strength, all on the strength. But fucking, I'ma do this off the strength.
Run it back, can't relax, that's just facts off the strength.
It's off the strength. Can't get that off the strength.
Sergio Santos, as you can tell, I'm of a Latin descent. I'm Puerto Rican and black.
There you go.
Only other Puerto Rican I knew growing up in Atlanta was my dad. So there's a context there. I feel like New York is New York for a reason. It is the capital of Earth. Everybody on this planet knows New York.
I love that.
Everyone knows New York. And when they say you can make it anywhere, I didn't realize how that shit meant literally. My first time I went to Puerto Rican Day Parade was 2017, bro. I cried. I never seen anything like that. I always had the mindset that we're stronger together than separate.
What's going on, fam? This is KR Jones of the Off the Strength podcast, and I am here to tell you to like, listen, subscribe, and if you're feeling freaky, visit offthestrength.com. That's where you can go and get more information on us. That's where we can link, we can build, we can connect, and let's make this thing work.
Tony Sunshine stuff.
Man, every time I hear that song, it's like I gotta take my hat off and just start saluting.
Yo, from the top too. It's just like, all right, yo, wait, hold on.
Bro, that song made hip hop allowed in my household.
Yo,
that shit broke that generational gap.
It's like, all right, crossover record. This makes sense.
They found something with that right there, yo.
But then what happened to Tony Sunshine, yo? I don't know where that brother went.
That's all he was here to do.
He made his contribution. He did his big one. He was
That was
out.
it. He found him a baddie. He's I'm gonna just ride off in the sunset and the royalties. That actually is a good question. Now you actually make me want to. What happened?
He's around. Remember he called Styles when we was interviewing him that day?
That was Tony Sunshine?
That's what he said on the phone.
That's crazy. I damn sure was. What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome back to yet another episode of Off the Strength, where we're giving you the inside look into all things wellness culture. I'm a trainer called Tony, and of course with me, I got a gentleman of extraordinary league.
KR Jones is in the building.
That's right, folks. We are back, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all type from near and far, you are now in store for a treat. Brother Jones.
Yay!
My man, we got more of the Recess family in the building today, pal. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of creativity, of culture, and community with none other than Sérgio Santos.
Okay. Yes,
From capturing iconic moments with artists like Future, Zaytoven, to collaborating with brands like Nike, Xbox, Sergio has been at the forefront of music, fashion, and gaming culture. His work isn't just about images, it's about storytelling that resonates, man. Something that makes me proud about this brother, I literally feel like I'm a part of the Brooklyn fitness renaissance whenever I see that Recess Run Club around by the house, man.
Okay.
I pull up the Padmores, I get a nice little cold brew, and I was like, hey, that's the whole fam. Just running. And Serge, even before I got into knowing you through that lens, I think we first crossed paths at the Fit For Us community meetup.
Yep, Coach P.
Yeah, shout out to P. Everything that Fit For Us is doing. P is running across the country right now.
Yeah.
I thought you were super dope when I met you there. And man, I didn't know how many people we had intersecting our paths.
Yeah, it's a lot of overlap.
A lot of overlap. And that just, again, gives me that sensation, Kyle, that we are alive in an amazing time. And the Brooklyn Renaissance is being built brick by damn brick by people running the streets like this, man, over here, man.
What Jadakiss say, you can find me on the block. My address don't say L.A. It say New York. I live in New York.
It's something that makes true magic happen in my heart, man. I saw this brother at Herbert Von King Park, and let me tell you, when you bring art to a community that I've been a part of in a way that makes me feel passionate, man, it warms the heart, man. So lace up your sneakers. Let's get ready to explore this intersectionality that we keep crossing paths with, man. Let's make some noise for Sergio Santos one time. We talking about the East Atlanta zone. Now he's in Brooklyn, and he's making it happen, man. Serge, thank you for pulling up with us today, bro.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Man, it's been a while. I've been trying to make it happen, and every time it pushed back further, I kept finding another person that was telling me to connect with you, bro. It's like, yo, wait, hold on. This needs to happen. This needs to work out, man. So first things first, man, how you feeling today? Just on top.
Man, I'm blessed. Net 60, net 90 check just hit. It didn't rain.
I love
Had a great run today.
Yo, today was a good day.
Today's a good day. I woke up, today was one and everything else just bonus after that.
Dog, don't nobody understand enough how them net 30s, 60s, and 90s could hit you at a time where you damn near forgot about the work that you did.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. This was months ago. I'm still waiting on this.
Every time I be in between checks, I be hearing like TLC No Scrub whenever my girl be paying for things sometimes. I'm like, babe, it's coming.
Dog,
I'm a home run hitter. I'm not a contact hitter.
We gonna get on base, bring everybody home.
Yeah,
everybody
you get on
eats.
base. I'll clean it up. That 4, 5, 6 hitter.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, dog. I definitely been through that route, man. And yeah, it's a part of that creative life that a lot of people don't understand. The full ups and downs, the peaks and valleys that come along with being a professional with your art. Comes with some labor sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's a labor of love, though. So I definitely am happy that you share that love and that passion with the people that intersect with you. So happy that you're starting off on a good day, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Plus, you know, this is happening today, too. So that was...
Come on.
Yeah.
He in the house with OTS, man. Can't wait.
Let's go.
Yeah, brother. Okay, I know we jumped in and I'm jumping around a little bit. But, my brother, I do want to talk about this run that you got coming up. Can you let the good listeners know what you got going on? And then we're going to get back into your story.
Yeah, so a name as Sergio Santos or Sergio Santos, as you can tell, I am. I'm of a Latin descent. I'm Puerto Rican and black.
There we go. Yeah,
Only other Puerto Rican I knew growing up in Atlanta was my dad. So there's the context there.
I was going to ask.
Not a lot of us. I'm still proud. Still proud.
There we go.
It wasn't. Atlanta's a little bit different in terms of culture. Like someone might be Haitian or like one of my best friends who's Trinidadian. I didn't know he was Trinidadian until like I heard his grandma talk, and I was like, "Where y'all from, Jamaica?" He's like, "Trinidad." And I'm like, "Where the hell is that?" And then, you know, he puts out a song called "All Gold Everything," and then, you know, he's
he's all over.
I know where Trinidad is now.
Yeah, exactly. Don't believe him, just watch, man.
Yeah. So, you know, so we mainly be talking about like what side you're from, what zones, things like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like in New York, it's like a little bit about where you're born from, but also it's like, you know, if you live in Little Haiti, you Haitian. If you live, you know, Little Caribbean, you know, you any of that West Indian diaspora.
Yeah, for sure. So my family is from Panama, but I grew up in Louis Colon's house. So all of my Latin culture was Puerto Rican Latin culture.
Wow.
It's
And
like
thank
all
you,
my
Panama, for
references.
reggaeton.
Yeah, there we go. That's when we came back.
Yeah.
We brought it together.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Anytime you hear that doom, 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 yeah, that's us, Kyle. Don't disrespect, yo.
And I didn't realize the history of of Panama, where the Jamaicans and the Latins that y'all had. Because like Panama has its own unique accent. Y'all speak Spanish, but you sound Jamaican.
Yeah,
it's a very unique. It's just only in Panama.
Doug, you describing my household growing up, because we too many accents for most people to make it make sense.
Yeah.
It's like your grandmother clearly has a West Indian accent, but then she's gonna go into speaking Spanish in a second,
Bro,
and it's gonna confuse everybody on the block.
My old manager at Foot Locker was Panamanian. When he be talking Spanish, I'm like, "Where you from, Jamaica?" And he was just like, "No, Panama." I'm like, Panama. I'm like, that's what they sound like.
Hell yeah, man! They brought us over there to build the canal, and it was like, y'all here now. Y'all was Jamaicans, but y'all Panamanians.
It was a one-way trip for y'all. But they ain't even tell y'all, bro.
So saying, man.
Yeah.
So,
but back to man. My bad. I got distracted.
It's all good.
Took a little history lesson. But yes,
take that detour, man.
This Saturday, June 7th, for the Puerto Rican Day weekend, we're having a Puerto Rican Day run powered by New Balance. We're running out of Padmore's Coffee Shop at 8 a.m.
Shout out.
My primo in Puerto Rico, he has a brand called Details Matter. He did the merch for the run.
Yeah.
We have empanadas and breakfast from Cocotazo, Puerto Rican-owned restaurant in Harlem. Lou gonna pull up, give us some gift bags, you know, from Bodega. You know, everything's like Puerto Rican-owned, you know.
Like I said, that Cologne household gave me all of my Latin culture when I was growing up. It also was probably responsible for some questionable dating decisions later on in my life.
It happens.
But that's not going to be for this conversation. We're going to come back to that at a later date.
Yeah, I feel like you need to walk
I don't know
that
those
path.
stories. What I'm missing out on?
It's like there was some ins and outs. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like, you know, the passion. I was chasing the fire. And you get burned by the fire sometimes.
Hey, yo.
I'm a firebender, so I'm unaffected.
It just keeps it moving. So when and where can they find out like the details about the run?
On our Instagram, Recess Run Club NYC. We have a Strava group of the same name, and we have a Halo group of the same name, Recess Run Club NYC.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the fake one up in Williamsburg, which they are now no longer existing because we played on our P's and Q's and we got our trademark and copyright.
There we go.
And I didn't realize how many lawyers were that ran with me. Bro, they came out like the Pit Vipers, the Black Mambas. It was like the Direwolves. It was like, who took our name? I was like, I didn't even have to do nothing. They did it for me.
Say less.
But yeah, we'll have shoe demos with New Balance as well, like all their Highline sneakers, the Elite V5, the 1080s, the Rebels. We'll have some giveaways as well, and following it next month, rolling into a contest as well. You know, called a Run Your Way contest, where the new Rebels coming out, and you'll get a chance to earn it by hitting a certain benchmark of mileage.
Okay, so you get to earn your kicks. I like this, man.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to inspire people to be healthy. They can't get everything. Some shit you got to earn.
I love that.
I give a lot of free things away, but some things, hey, you got to earn it.
Man, I'm here for that all the way, bro. I can't wait to celebrate that body culture, celebrate that running culture all the way together, man. Kyle, how you feeling about this?
Man, I mean, just the ideation of running to earn something, like you said, like people been taking too many things for granted, and
Absolutely.
the value, the effort that it takes to earn something is something that we've been missing as a culture. So anytime we got somebody that's around to highlight that and to celebrate that as a sentiment, man, I can only amplify that message.
Hell yeah, bro. So we see you at this pinnacle, right? And you got the events coming up, you got the giveaways going on, you talk about the brands that you're working with. Now, Serge, I need to go back and understand how running came into your life to begin with, and if you could unpack that story for me.
Man, it kind of comes from a lot of pain and a dark place.
Okay.
If the show, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
I had a homie in Atlanta that passed away. Atlanta in the 2010s. It's a lifestyle of Hennessy, hot wings, strippers, and Waffle House, and late nights at the club. And, after a while, you're doing that so much, take a toll on your body.
Yeah.
Plus, in Atlanta, we drive everywhere, so we're not walking like in New York. We do the car in front of the club. That's it. That's all the walking we doing. And after a homie passed away, my cousin Chaos, he was definitely like, yo, we gotta change the way we eat. We ain't getting no younger. We gotta be healthier. And then he started Movers and Pacers Run Club. And at the time, I was just like, man, I want to be healthier, because at the time we were only, I think, like 6 years apart, and I didn't want to transition or get sick or anything like that. Also at the time, I was like 300 pounds, so I saw the path that I was going down. And I was like, there's a lot more life to live. I got a little more 2Ks to come out to play, more Maddens to drop, more sneakers to buy.
I feel you.
I was like, let me try to change it. And at first, I couldn't do a quarter mile, because I was many, many years removed from playing baseball. So I was just a lazy fat guy playing video games. And from there, just took it 1 quarter mile at a time, to the point I was running a mile, then 2 miles, then 3. Then I was able to actually kind of keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew from there. But it just started off of losing a homie, and it was definitely like a wake up call. It was almost like he's a martyr even to this day. It's like, all right, man, we run for them.
Yeah.
We run for him.
I totally, man. First and foremost, my condolences. I have been spurred on by a lot of similar stories. You get to a certain age, you're going to have a lot of people going too soon from things that largely, if you have the foresight to see that you could prevent it, you should be able to prevent it and tell some people in your line also that they can prevent it too. So I understand that.
That's it. I mean, one of my life goals is to turn Brooklyn into a blue zone. And for those who don't know, a blue zone is an area where it has a high amount of people over the age of 100 years old.
Talk to me about why that's important.
A lot of us are dying young, bro.
Yeah.
Look at all the hip-hop legends we lost before the age of 60. In the 40s, 30s. I'm pretty sure, every man in this room that lost a lot of homies way too early off of health complications.
Yeah.
So I just try to move the needle and just, try to inspire and do what I can. 'Cause I know you can't say everybody, but at least if I can inspire some people to be, take the real healthier things. Let me not do the soda. Let me do like a tea instead, or, water, things like that.
Little micro decisions that add up to better decisions overall.
Yeah. It's like compound interest.
Exactly. Yeah. Why don't we ever talk about it just like that? Your health could be compound interest. You don't gotta have everything all at once. You could just build up to this.
Ain't got enough income to even get compound
That part.
interest.
All right. Never mind. I take it back. I take it off. I take it off the table.
Systemically, it was not designed for us to be like that.
Yeah.
I'm correct.
And if you was not exposed to it,
you can't get it.
This sound like Spanish.
All
or,
different.
or
You don't know.
Panama, Jamaican.
My Jamaican Spanish.
Yeah.
It's all mixed up. It's crazy.
But we working.
Yeah. We're
changing the needle. The tides are turning. It's like, the game that we've been put into. We looked up, we're down 28-3, and it's like moving a battleship. It ain't gonna happen overnight or in 4 quarters. It's gonna take a little bit of time, and then finally you're gonna start to see that light.
Doug, I feel like that is the epicenter of what we do here at Off the Strength.
That is Off the Strength.
We've been trying to get this ship to turn.
It was a full boat in the water. There was more people on board.
Yeah.
Some people spill over.
It's just 2 of us now.
Hey, you gotta keep turning. Keep turning the wheel.
But the wave,
That's it.
we've caught the wave. I am curious about just, you mentioned baseball. Tell me about how baseball came into your life and just being active as a whole. Like, you talked about running, but reconnecting is one thing, but I feel like being able to have that exposure at a young age is what's pivotal for a lot of people. So how did baseball come into your life?
Well, in Puerto Rico, it's like a religion. It's kind of fallen off a little bit over the years, but it's kind of making a resurgence. But definitely, I grew up with it. Like my dad, my great uncle worked for the Yankees. I had several cousins make it to the major leagues, so I was always around in baseball, going to baseball games since an infant, all up until like the World Series last year. So it's been very simple. Yeah, in it.
Yeah,
like, in it. I've done been at least 10 World Series. Saw the Yankees in 2009 win the title up here. Of course, they beat my Braves in 96, and I think it was like 99. Yeah. So baseball's always been a part of my life. I could love basketball growing up, but my mom was like, yeah, you're not going to do football because we don't want you getting a concussion.
Got that.
Meanwhile, in baseball, I done broke like 6 fingers, broken jaw, nose, ribs, the whole 9. I was like, man, I should just play fucking
You would have been
football.
right there.
Yeah.
You could have been
but I love basketball because of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't my thing. But when I got on the diamond, my dad was like, see, it was in your blood. Look at you. You're just so great at this. Yeah. And then I just progressively got better at it. My dad sent me out to Puerto Rico for like baseball camp to really refine the skills till, to play through middle school and high school and everything else like that. So, yeah, it's been part of my life.
Man. Is there anything that you can attribute, like a life lesson that baseball gave you, out of curiosity?
Don't stress out over a strikeout because there's going to be more to come. If you strike out, hey, man, just get the bat off your shoulder. Don't feel bad. Because you're going to be at bat again.
Yeah, you're going to get another turn.
You're going to get another turn. Like, my dad told me, and I'm pretty sure you hear this a lot in baseball, like, all you got to do is hit 3 out of 10 hits, and you're a Hall of Famer.
Wow. Yeah. I've definitely heard that.
3 out of 10. And when my dad gave me that perspective, I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but that doesn't apply to school.
Yeah.
He's like, I need you 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
A 7 out of 10 was a failure in his book.
Man, yeah, I definitely had that conversation too.
Yeah.
It's like, C's get degrees, Dad? No, not in this house.
Like,
C's get degrees is crazy.
C's do get degrees.
Yeah,
A win is a win.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, yo, come on, man. We talking organic chemistry. Like, how much we really trying to get over here? I can't get over the hell.
Chemistry, damn it. Chemistry made me pay my teacher to surpass me.
See? You got to get creative on some of these damn classes.
I'm like, bro, I'm not passing this. What does this got to do with marketing? What does this have to do with marketing? Biology? No.
He's like, yo, these requirements, they not required. I'm not going to use any of this information past this day.
You know how many times I use the Puerto Theory theorem?
Yeah.
0. Algebra? 0. They got programs for all
man,
this.
it's MX plus B, man. That's how you get right,
Yeah, man,
I use statistics more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that has a much easier application to today, and that statistics kind of carries over for me with the through line for baseball somehow, some way, because there's a lot of that parallels. What position did you play?
I played outfield. They wanted me to play catcher because of my cousins, and I was like, I don't want to be sitting there squatting at the time.
Yeah.
Also, they didn't have like the calf pads.
Yeah.
So you just had to just sit there.
Yeah, that's one of the sports where you could see the technology has changed that sport so drastically that it's kind of like, okay, yeah, no, what was we doing before? It's like
the whole, like, why didn't the helmet have a face guard?
It should have always had that. It's like, why wasn't this here?
20 years ago, I would be in the major leagues if I had a face guard. That's how I look at it. All these headshots, I'm like, I'm good.
It's like, that's coming back at you like over 100 miles an hour. Like, you could you could definitely do some damage here.
Yo, I had a wild pitch hit me in the mouth at 88 miles per hour, and I was like, I don't think this is it for me.
Yeah, man. Once you get to the speed and the power that somebody could put behind that in the later phases of it, it becomes a whole different thing, man.
Also, like, to get to that point, you have to deal with a lot of people who have the power but don't have the control.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the scary part. Trust me.
Because every pitch got to be the hardest pitch ever, and it's just kind of like,
and it's wild. It's like they let go too early. Now it's hitting someone in the bleachers. You know, it's like what's happening for real.
That's wild, man. Okay, how far did you take your baseball path? And like, when did you stop?
In high school, and my father had transitioned in high school, and then at that time it was just like a lot going on, and the love for the game went away with that. Because every time I would see baseball, I would think of him, and then it would just be one of those constant cycles of like bad things being replayed in your head.
Yeah. The association. I definitely got baseball from my father as well, and my grandfather on that side. The Latin family members definitely tied to that heavily. I never could make the translation though. I couldn't really get to it, man. I couldn't get that. I don't know. Everybody else was playing basketball in Brooklyn. Everybody was playing basketball. They was trying to do some kind of like, all right, let's do some off the wall, some suicide, like whatever the handball kind of games was. We didn't really have that baseball connection on the block, so I never really got it, but always brought it back to the family side. So I do understand that it was something that brought us together, watching the games, even though I didn't really quite follow it the whole way. So I could imagine that changes the definition of what the game means to you. How you follow it today?
Oh, I still follow it. I'm really hoping my Braves get their shit together.
Yeah.
You know, right now we're third in the NL East. And we play the Mets at the end of June, and I typically go see like all the games whenever they're in town.
Okay. Yeah. I know the last time I went to a baseball game, they made it a lot faster, which was something I was like,
the
okay,
pitch clock,
this makes sense. I can see this is going a little bit further. Why do you think that there's people falling out of love with it right now?
It turned to like a pitching phenomenon at one point, and everyone loves baseball because of the home runs. Like, that's what makes baseball exciting.
Yeah, the Barry Bonds era was different.
It was different, and I mean, there's all of like the old school, like unspoken rules of baseball that are still kind of like today. Like I remember Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You know, typically when you're up by like a certain amount, you're supposed to just take the strike. Where he hit like a 3-run home run, and people got upset about him. And he was like, "Well, where I'm from, if you want to beat me, you got to beat me." So it's like a generational like war going on, where it's like you have a lot of the new generation, new energy coming into baseball, making it fun again.
Yeah.
Versus like the old school way, where you know it's like a gentleman's sport. It's like still like a gentleman's sport, but it's a new era. Like even the Yankees allowing facial hair now.
Yeah.
So that's how you're seeing like the tides are turning. It's definitely becoming more mainstream in a sense with a lot of like, and it's an international sport too. Mm-hmm. So that's one of those things where you can go to Japan, go to watch a baseball game, you understand what's happening.
Yeah, man. I know, Kyle, you had some past with baseball as well. I never really got too tough with it.
You know, it wasn't my first sport. I was
Yeah.
more of a hooper than anything else. I could catch. I could, be shortstop. I couldn't hit for anything. I kept trying to hit.
That's hard.
I kept trying to hit home runs every time, man. But, life is life, I
Take
did
some
have
swings, miss some
a
swings.
Equinox almost championship.
I think he was playing for different reasons at that point in time.
I might have been. We don't have to talk about that. We're going to talk to Brother Sergio while we're here. Now, paint this picture a little bit for me about how you got into this creative side that I'm hearing of the video games, 2K, and then we're going to get into the sneakers a little bit later, but just stretch that out for a little bit.
I remember just being in school, the parents always like, hey, get a good job, get some stability, be there 20 years. And I'm just like, look, if I'm not working in like hip hop or music, sneakers, or video games, like I'm gonna be unhappy.
Yeah.
Like, my first job out of college, I was working at this faucet company called Price Fister, and I was not enjoying that at all. And
You said Foster Company?
a faucet.
Oh,
Like
a faucet. I was
yeah,
about to
like
say,
the sink.
like
sink.
orphans? Is
Yeah, no, a
Okay.
faucet.
I
Yeah, I know
got
my
you.
accent it draw a little bit. Well,
It's
yeah,
all
I
good.
wasn't unhappy, and I just doubled down. And I kind of like went against the grain. I was like, look, this is what I'm doing. Either love me or leave me alone. And I was just still walking that path. And eventually met up with my mentor, CJ Peters. He owned a company called Console Kings, which is like a media/agency, but for gaming. And it was like, it bridged the world of hip-hop and gaming together. Because most of the time when you play Madden or 2K or whatever, you got hip-hop playing in the background.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
very synonymous just in most of our households. I'm pretty much sure across the board, the United States, you were playing video games and listening to hip-hop.
Yeah.
So we all started like working with putting like soundtracks together for games, because a lot of times Atlanta was the epicenter where all the talent and music was coming from, but a lot of these publishers wanted the soundtracks, wanted the songs, but didn't know how to get them. And that's where we came in, and we helped bridge that gap a lot. Like we brought Usher to like a Just Dance at E3. We brought in Nipsey Hussle for a couple of games for soundtrack for Konami. We helped with Def Jam Fight for New York, Capcom. Did the soundtrack for NBA 2K8. Yeah, it's been we did a lot in the gaming world for sure.
Man.
And from there I just realized how close and parallel that, all right, the gamers and hip hop and how people were wearing like sneakers and stuff. So I was like, oh, this is all kind of like one little cocktail, and I could like pivot from there. So after gaming kind of got a little boring and it just felt very monotonous, it was like 2014. I was like, let me try to make a pivot and like go into the footwear industry, because like I always loved sneakers because I could never afford them growing up. And I was like, I need this. My mom never wanted to get me in them because she's like, I don't want to get you killed over some sneakers. I was like, Mom, these are Penny Hardaways. I don't think anyone's dying over Penny
They
Hardaways.
say
that was
anything to not buy it.
That was
Anything.
definitely an era, though. That was
Yeah,
the time.
it was for real.
That and you still growing, and I'm not spending this money because you still growing. I was like,
every excuse they can think of. But
Yeah.
it used to be like, get all A's and I'll get you whatever Jordans you want. I get all A's. They're like, nah, their size sold out. No, it's
Yeah.
not, Ma. Don't lie to me.
I get whatever team Jordans you want. This is what we're going to put
you
out
had
here.
Team J's?
I
You
definitely had
stop
some
right
Team
there.
J's.
Yeah,
Why you mad?
you're lucky. At least you had some Jordans.
That's what I'm saying. I
Nah,
had
we
teams,
ain't
bro.
respect the Team J's where I'm from. Where I'm from, that got you clown. You better have some Payless on if you had Team J's.
Yeah, you a hater, fam.
You know?
I definitely had like Reebok, the Soldier Reeboks. So I was like, I can't get both. But then the Reebok Soldier, they were like 2 for $64. I like, get it to me.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Saucony. They were like 2 for $50. Get it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a couple flavors off with that, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm around for that. So that's where the pivot, you're leaving the industry on the gaming side. You're getting into the sneaker side. Like, what's the first kind of explorations look like?
So I was working retail at Foot Locker. Okay. Because at the time, I knew Nike had an office in Atlanta, but it wasn't like New York office. They were just there just because it was this is a Southern hub. Yeah. And as much as I had tried to, become an Ekin in Atlanta and try to get on at Nike that way, it's kind of like Vegeta, where he tried to become Super Saiyan and everything he was fucking trying was not working. And then he goes off planet, and then he was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And then he becomes Super Saiyan. There's more than one way to achieve a goal. Yeah. And going through the retail world, I ended up getting promoted as an analyst at Foot Locker in New York, and that's what brought me to New York from that transition from there.
There we go. That's where the stats is coming back in. So I hear the analyst side of it. Yeah. I definitely hear the DBZ culture inside there, Oh,
yeah, big nerd, bro. Big nerd. Because in my years of gaming, I did a lot of like projects with like Xbox, THQ, which produced like the WWE games.
I remember that.
Back in the day. Yeah, so I definitely did a lot of like outside of Constant Kings, did like my own projects, was definitely helped stat the resume and made me a better candidate. But sometimes with this algorithm nowadays, none of that should be mattering. It's like who you know.
Dog, that part of the game. So you brought up in your story Ekin, right? And I only know that word because I was trying to be an Ekin at one point in time, and I went out to Beaverton, and they was like, I just finished my master's in exercise physiology. I was training a bunch of people at Nike. I never worked with them formally, but this is around the fuel ban era of Nike.
Yeah.
So they bought up. It was. I was on the research side of that. Like, they definitely wanted trainers working with the fuel ban, seeing how they can get it out, all the rest of that stuff. They were like, yo, how do I get in at Nike? Like, I want to be somebody that's working on this, but like behind the door. I don't want to be in these focus groups. I want to be inside here.
I want to be the one asking the questions.
Yeah, they're like, oh, so you got to start off as an Ekin. Now, Ekin is Nike backwards. So they started off, at least if I'm remembering it, you're supposed to understand the company like backwards and forwards.
Boo.
For you to move up.
Somebody booed this man in that company, and that's why they shit went down like that.
I'm telling you, bro. When I was looking at it, I was like, all right, I'm trying to understand how I could fit in, but navigating that world is not a direct line. There is no like, this step is the one that's going to get you to the next step, to the next one. They literally call it the Matrix when you was trying to move in and out of there. Can you talk to me a little bit about that whole process?
We struck out all the time, but we're like Batman. We have indomitable will. I just keep going. Yeah. That black mama mentality. If I miss 10 shots, the 11th one's going in. Yeah. If 11 are going in, 12, and then we'll just keep shooting. But it's kind of like trying to get on there. To me, remember when we used to have the corded headphones, and you wrap it up nice, and you put it in your pocket. Next, it's like a knot.
It's back into that ball.
That's how it was kind of been like. It's not a direct line. It's very much like a spider's web where you're going up and down, and around.
Yeah, man. That was a tricky situation for me, and I've seen a lot of people just be able to. You talked about leaving and then getting that glow up, like in the Vegeta aspect, right? Yeah. Sometimes you got to get a win on the road for your hometown to feel you the way that they should have been feeling you the whole time.
For sure.
How does that play out in your story?
I mean, I feel like New York is New York for a reason. It is the capital of Earth. Everybody on this planet knows New York.
I love that.
Everyone knows New York. And when they say you can make it anywhere, I didn't realize how that shit meant literally. It was like, when I first came to New York, I got laid off within the first 6 months of being at Foot Locker. They just like wiped out the department. For some reason, you're new there, so that's all right. We're just going to excommunicate on you. Yeah. And I looked at it like everybody said, you're going to go back to Atlanta, you're just going to move back. And I was like, nah, like I'm here in New York for a reason. I'm going to make it here or die trying. Now I'm on my 50 shit. We going to get it.
I like it.
I'm adopting all that New York energy. And also the New York energy in general is that hustler spirit was very much aligned with just me in general. And then it was like, you can do whatever you want in New York. I don't have to be an analyst for another company. And photography was always a hobby, but I've heard from plenty of people and like famous people like, yo, you should do this. You can look into this, do it as a hobby, or, see where you can go, buy a camera. So ironically, I had a person in Atlanta who was a swiper. We'll call him Panama, because she was from Panama. Yeah. And she was like, just make sure I get all these 6.5s. And I was like, yeah, I want to buy a new camera. I was like, how much you can get it for me for? She was like, well, shit, if you show me something, I'll show you something. So I tell her what I wanted. She go to Costco, buy the whole thing, drops it off. She was like, yeah, I'm good for the rest of the year with this one. I was like, how much I owe you? She was like, no, I'm good.
Smooth.
I was like, perfect. And, you know, shout out to her because she was the water on the sea for the camera and me really getting behind it and fostering that growth where it turned to a hobby and to a career.
Yeah.
And just shooting a lot of just random parties in New York and portraits for people. And I didn't know I was doing it. I was figuring it out here in New York. But the first time I was able to pay my rent, just doing straight photography, I was like, oh, this shit real.
Yeah.
We can do something here. And then my entire mind changed. Like, I didn't start operating as like, oh, this is a hobby. I started operating like it's a business. And even to this day, I've kind of grown to where now I've been blessed to work on bigger projects to put other people on. So now it's like, oh, all this time I was trying to work with agencies, and it's like I'm slowly cultivating and developing an agency on my own.
Yeah, man. So go back into that switch when you're identifying that, hey, I was looking at this as a hobby, but now I have to take this as a business. What's going on in your mind, or what's the events that lead up to that, like that cultivating that thought?
Well, I've always been something of like an entrepreneur, definitely like a hustler. Since elementary school, selling NBA pencils, you know, I would like buy
remember those.
buy the pack from Walmart.
The racist was trash on that.
They was.
You know?
Yeah, the ratio of travel, I would buy all just to get the Bulls.
Yeah.
And just sell off the Bulls for like $5 a pencil. Because I know, first of all, I bought them all at Walmart, so there ain't no more pencils left. These are the only Chicago Bull pencils you can get.
Yo, that was an era,
Yeah.
a time.
Then
It
from
had
there-
Bulls on it.
Yeah. Then from there, selling mixtapes in high school. And it always just kind of kept growing. Because I was
Yeah.
always a little younger, so I could never get a job, but I liked things. So I had
Yeah.
to find, ways to make money legally, because I seen what that path did. And I was like, I'm not going that path. So we got to find something else.
Yeah, man. Wow. So that switch was always there. It just, the opportunity kind of gifted itself once you had the proper tools.
And sometimes you just have to listen to people around you too. Like hearing certain things from a multitude of people who have zero connections, but they're all like, talking to you.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to pay attention to this.
Yeah, sometimes the universe be screaming at you, huh?
Screaming.
It's like,
Sometimes I just punch you in the face like, bitch, listen.
wake up!
Wake up. Look at right here. Run left. Stop going right. Go left.
He's like, yo, you're making the game harder than it needs to be. I want you
Exactly.
to perceive this blessing. It's like, stop making the game
Sometimes
so hard.
it's hard, man. You can't see what's right in front of you.
You're blocking
you know?
your blessings. You know, you
It
can't
be
have
like
it
that
out
for
here.
real.
Wake up.
I didn't block the blessing or two, man. I'm thinking about something you said earlier when you were defining, the work that you wanted to get into. When you were like, man, if it wasn't hip hop, if it wasn't sneakers, if it wasn't that, you weren't doing it. Mm-hmm. What got you into that mode? Like, was there somebody that introduced you to these dope things? Like, what was that exposure like that allowed you to expand?
I think it was seeing the Madden Challenge come to Atlanta, and I was just like, okay, and seeing it on TV, and I was like, oh, like this is on ESPN, like it's everywhere. I was like, all right, so there's something there that's not based in California. And then when it came to Atlanta, I was like, okay, we can do something. And I had a cousin that worked at a DTP with Ludacris.
Okay, yeah.
She was like one of their marketing managers over there. Shout out to cousin Portia. If you ever watched this, thank you. Yeah, she exposed me to a lot of like the hip hop world, but the good and the bad. Because she was definitely, trying to be a protective older cousin. It's like, oh, you need to go down. Don't do this because, the game is shady at times.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still love hip hop. I'm never going to not love music. I need to find a way to have some leverage in it because I'm realizing in the game a lot of it has to do with leverage. So coming from it from a tech standpoint where it's like, all right, I got like this amount of money for you for your song, fuck with me or not. I don't care. Otherwise, I'm going to go to someone else. So, it kind of get to that point where artists, where especially the way video games started to grow and blow up, they were like, oh no, I want a piece of this. How do we get there? And it was like, boom. So that was like where we came in with that joint. But definitely my cousin exposing me to like the hip hop side and seeing it just organically grow in Atlanta from where like in the malls, LaFace used to do these showcases where like TLC Usher would just be in the mall and singing. You would see Outkast do like random performance around the city like often. To now it's like, oh, now we're like on a global scale. So it's like all that was just very much in the culture ingrained just in general. Like going to the AUC, seeing Biggie, seeing Pac, seeing Outkast perform several times just because like, oh, this is home. I'm gonna do this for Clark, Spellman, and Morehouse. You know?
Yeah, man, you was down there for a magical time.
Freaknik, bro.
Yeah.
I remember I was a kid. I was seeing some things I should not have been seeing.
I was skating around here, but I was like, let me do the dates real quick.
I'm going straight to it.
You seen some stuff, my brother.
Bro, 20 used to
Some
be shut
people
down.
seen their parents in that movie or documentary, if you will.
Yeah.
Man, so a lot of folks probably be like, oh, that's how it was made. No wonder I like that song so much.
The freak.
This was going on in the background. This is what was happening,
Exactly.
man. Yeah, it's such a. I've only been to Atlanta sparingly, but just to hear how you talk about it, I hear a lot of what I see in what I recognize from the whole Recess crew coming together. Like, I see that camaraderie. I see that, hey, I'm doing something, let's come together, let's move in this direction throughout all the different parts of your story. So is that something that you trace all the way back, that mindset, to Atlanta, working with people, getting into different, projects and stuff like that?
I always had the mindset that we're stronger together than separate.
Okay.
I always felt like, because even looking at like the Chicago Bulls, where Tony Kukoc was the man, in Europe, but then he come to America, and it's like, now you're like a fourth, fifth option.
Yeah,
but he
they
was
locked
like,
him up for a little bit, but
I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to win,
option.
so, I'm going to do that. And I just seen, that just from team sports in general, and I was like, oh, you do win better as a unit. I mean, of course you have your stars, but it's like, I'm okay to be Kyrie. I don't need to be LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie won that championship.
Damn sure did. This was like, took him back over the hump in Cleveland, what I mean? The last couple minutes, Braun had to take a couple, steps back. And I remember that.
And it also comes from like being the only child, like not having a lot of family, a lot of cousins around like my age, and I'm like the super baby out of everybody.
Yeah.
So just getting around folks who are like-minded, and it's like, oh shit, like we do exist out here.
Yeah.
So it always kind of kept growing and growing from there. Because when I went to school, I'm a Buckeye, so when I was in school in Ohio, it was very much not like that kind of like unity like I saw at like Clark and Morehouse, where I was like, man, talk about life decisions. If I can go back and change something, I definitely would probably go to like a HBCU versus going to Ohio State, for real.
What made you go to Ohio State?
Money, in-state tuition, and a lot of home field advantage. They gave me like in-state tuition. My cousin is alumni. My great-grandfather was like an alumni there. So it was like some legacy there. But it's also have legacy at the AEC too. But Ohio just gave me more money. And I didn't want to live on campus like it was mandatory to do for Morehouse. I was like, I have a crib 20 minutes away. I'm not going to live here where there's like roaches and rats over here.
Yeah.
At Purdue. I'm good. I'm sorry.
I feel that. Some of the dorm room war stories is definitely up there.
Man, I tell you. I'm curious about how does the military come into your story, right? Because we got all the way up to there.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how that happened.
Man, I was in ROTC in high school and enlisted after high school.
Okay.
I was a little lost, and I didn't have a long military career at all. I got medically discharged because of my asthma, so it was like grand opening, grand closing. It's like walk through the revolving door, went right back out. Yeah, didn't make it out of basics, so that was that. But a lot of those like values and it's still instilled in me, to this day, where, sometimes you just got to really like lock in and get shit done.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that, man. So when you land in New York, you're going through the first phase of just getting the transition from taking photography from hobby into the professional side. How are you accruing your initial accounts that you're getting, your jobs or your gigs? Like, how are you building that book of business, so to speak?
Man, literally just hustling.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the day when I got like laid off too from Foot Locker. I was just sat in the room like, man, I done came here from Atlanta, Post High. We had all this motion going, and we just like, all right, you're released, you're waived. And I was like, whoa. And where I'd say that in Harlem, my window was just a brick wall. Like, I had two windows and there was a brick wall next to it. But
I done had that apartment too.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
But I shit you not, like, I'm sitting there drinking whiskey because I'm just sad. Xbox is off. It went on standby. And, like, my camera was in the corner and, like, the moon shine on the corner. And I'm like, based on these angles, I'm like, this should not be happening. I'm like, this is a sign. I'm going to listen to it. And honestly, bro, I was just hustling, bro. I was like, wherever the artists were at, that's where I wanted to be at. I would do a lot of photography walks. Any opportunity will come up, Facebook groups, just like networking, just really using everything I have. And also, like, what definitely helped me a lot, which I do realize is a competitive advantage, is a lot of my music friends from Atlanta. And a lot of that network. Like Atlanta, if it wasn't for Atlanta, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, because whenever they would come to New York, they would show love. I'll do their pictures, things like that. If someone was on tour, they would give me a pass to shoot it. And it would just kind of like just grow from there. And eventually, when you see, the futures and stuff like that, when those type artists are behind your lens, it definitely raises up like your stock value and things of that nature. And it's so weird. It's like when people see someone lit, and then they want to fuck with you. But if you shoot like an unknown face, they're like, whatever. It could be art. Literal like Smithsonian level art. They don't care. But let it be Bad Bunny, they're like, I want to book you.
Yeah.
Sure, thank you. I'll take it.
Man, how much of that is still true to this day? Like, do you have to play that game? Like,
not as much anymore. I feel like, now I've gotten to the point where, my work, the reward for more work is doing good work.
Yeah.
From time to time, I will, call in a favor, something like that. But mainly now I'm at the point where it's like, all right, we know you're synonymous with this. If we want, you can cook up on the photography side, but if we need some liaison and for like some athletes or, some celebs, music, whatever, we have you for there as well.
Okay.
So,
yeah, man, versatile. You know, and still keeping in tap with the people that you've been with this whole route and this whole journey.
I mean, I kind of have to, because they were definitely carrying me when I was not walking. Like I'll talk about the boy Bryson being my twin, but bro, when I was down bad, when I was like ain't had no place to stay, he let me crash at his crib for like a month.
Man,
just off the strength of the love. Like, all right, I'm gonna see you through.
Yeah.
Like a lot of homies, they definitely like send me some bread. Like, oh no, you down, you ain't losing today.
Yeah. Man, that come through at the right time. That changed everything, man.
Yeah, and also like when a lot of that journey definitely taught me about good people. Like, having genuine folks in your life.
Yeah.
Because like when you up, everybody love you. When you down, you ain't got no job, this, that, and the third, and you kind of see who's really there for you in that regard.
What gives you the ability to have the discernment to see some of these people like as they come up?
Life experience, bro.
Yeah.
It's like a spider sense. It's like the force. The more you use the force, the stronger you get at it.
Yeah.
You can kind of like read between the lines with a lot of folks.
I can see what this is. I don't need it. Yeah.
You can see the blitz coming. Safety's pushing up. Corners coming a little bit. It's like, oh, they're about to blitz. All right, say less. I got something for that ass.
Hey, yo, listen, man, I'm thinking about my video game heritage of like street hoops. That was like my first hip hop and game collab, but I'm still wrapping my mind around this picture, because you've been slowly laying out stuff between the Trinidad James, right?
Yeah.
Even the Joe Fresh Goods on. Talk to me about I guess being in a creative circle around people that are doing like larger than life things. Like, how do you cross paths with these folks?
Well, with Trinidad, it's just sneakers. A lot of my world, it all derived back from either sneakers, camping in line with people, supplying people with shoes, helping people get certain shoes, or video games, playing games together, or whatever the case may be from there. And it all kind of like spawned from there. So before like Trinidad was Trinidad, we was like, he worked at a boutique in Atlanta with my ex, and we became cool, just, circles and just kind of kicking it and things like that. The genuine, it just grew from there. And also when you have someone that's like closer to you, and then overnight, life changes. It's like, oh shit. In my head, some people get jealous and they feel some type of way. They want to lead. For me, it's like, oh, I want to contribute. I want to be like up, like how LeBron got everybody up there with him. All of them are just like, oh, this is like, Team 6. They just, everybody lit. I wanted to be like that and contribute. I didn't want to just be, someone in the background or whatever. I always wanted to contribute, even with like my family and stuff like that. I always wanted to be, of value, of service and things like that.
Yeah, you come in that mindset of service, you often end up getting the most bountiful kind of reward from that. Not even necessarily talking about anything in exchange, but just the feeling that you get from that. And you seeing your person, whoever it is, your man, glow up like that overnight. It's like, yo, damn, this is a team win. This is something that feels great for everybody.
But also with something like that, it was letting me know, like, all right, dreams are possible. Things can happen.
For sure.
Like, it's tangible. Like, we done seen it. It's real.
It's right
now
there.
Let's go get it. But let's get our version of that.
Yeah, exactly. In every respective discipline. I'm around for that, man. All right, so before I go any further into that, I definitely want to understand favorite camping in line for a shoe story that you got. Because I heard you say that you were sleeping outside for some shoes. Like, what was that shoe and what's the story that goes around that?
Oh, man. I would honestly have to say would probably the red Foamposite.
Okay.
Ooh, no check? Just the red joints?
The red joint, just no check. Because I met one of my best friends there.
Okay.
Yeah, my boy Day, bro. If it wasn't for that line, he is my like doorway to like a brand new life.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was, at a very low point where I lost a good friend. A couple of my folks, they were, I still have like two of my best friends today, Dwight and Mike, back from the A. But like, everyone was kind of like going their own separate ways.
Yeah.
And I had lost a good friend, so I was just in the shits, in the pits. I was really feeling like, man, life gotta change. And then, sneakers I did not think would take me this far, but like, hell, here we are. But just meeting him in line, he would hold my spot down, I would hold his spot down, and we would just, we in line for like 4 hours, so, you gotta chop it up and shit.
Yeah, man.
And from him, that's how I met like Bryson and CT, because he is their Neo, because they all went to Clark, and that's how like I got re-exposed to like a whole bunch of Clark folks who I was not related to, which has been a blessing even to this day.
Wow, yeah. All right, so that's the favorite sneaker.
Red
in
Foam
line red foam
South
posits.
DeKalb Mall, foot action.
Okay,
Jeez.
okay.
Not the foot action. They still around?
No, sir. They're all done. All closed.
Grand opening, grand closing on that
R.I.P.
front,
Just
man.
ain't no more finish line.
Yeah.
Ain't no more DTLRs. I know that hurt you.
Yeah. See, we know it as downtown locker room. DTLR was the outside of B-more situation. You know what I mean?
What do you think about the state of sneaker culture today?
I feel like reselling is just part of the game. It's never going to change. I do love where the shoe game is right now in terms of like brand equity.
Yeah.
Where now it's not like very top heavy. Now it's very spread out.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got Nike. They're the Godzilla. We know. But also, like, you know, On is cooking up.
Yeah.
New Balance cooking up.
Right.
Ace is cooking up. There's a lot of brands out here like doing good stuff. Adidas is getting their shit together, you know. They're cooking up. So it's like, all right, it's in a good place where now, you know, you have options. Like, you don't just necessarily have to just go with Nike or like go with New Balance. You can like rock around with like, you know, see what else is good out here. Plus, a lot of dope creators have been working on a lot of these brands, which has been, oh, I didn't know Adidas can be something good like this.
Yeah.
Or, you know, give an opportunity to a lot of black women like Adidas did with like Walls Bonner. You know, you got Nina Chanel with the Jordan 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's in a good place where now I'm more so following like the designers, not necessarily like following like the brands. Like, I mean, I always have my loyalty and my loves.
Right.
But now it's like, all right, you know, if the homie from Puerto Rico gonna design a shoe, all right, yeah, I'm gonna buy
You
this.
gotta see what that's
I'm gonna
at.
buy this Diodora. I ain't never owned a Diodora, but my homie Red did it.
Yeah.
Now I own a
Gotta
Diodora.
put it on.
Yeah.
I played soccer, bro. Diodoras. That and Umbrio, them brands.
Yeah.
I was around for that.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
I know Umbro from baseball because they were big in baseball too. They did cleats.
Yeah. Man, I think about just sneaker history. I don't even know how I came into it. I think cousins, you know what I mean? And I was just in it getting my East Bay magazines back in the day. East Bay magazine was the first piece of mail that I got to the crib.
Same.
Felt important when you get it.
Same.
That was just the only thing that had my name on it. And every 3-4 months I had to, you know, activate it again because I wasn't buying nothing. Because my mother definitely wasn't buying nothing for me. But I think just that exposure to it is what like opened up my eyes. And then, you know, in high school I had J's and all that stuff. But I did have a lot of versatility though. Like between, like you said, different brands. I felt like you couldn't just lean heavy into one thing, you know, and I ain't want to look like everybody else back in the day.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. At a size 14, I ain't never had them
options,
bro.
was limited, bro.
So,
Wow.
There was the cool shit that was out there, and then there was,
You
there
could
was
go to like
what they
Ross,
had.
Whatever they had.
or like Marshalls, and you might get like a one-off. Like, oh, they only got these in a 14. Who wears that? You know
And
what I
they,
mean?
if they had it, they sending one to the store.
Yeah, that's literally how it is.
You got one chance to get this in all of downtown Brooklyn, and then it's gone. You're never gonna have it. So yeah, I missed a little bit of that wave, but I was always around people that was like sneakerheads. Like Lou has been a sneakerhead my whole life.
Yeah.
Seeing what he was doing on that side when he had his store down in Soho, I'd be hanging out around there. So I saw the shoes. I just like, damn, I wish I could put them on, but they never gonna be on me.
There's like, they ain't got my size.
Yeah, man. So I kept it basic. You know, I keep a good chuck. It's like they usually have a little bit of.
I mean,
decent,
also you can get a 13 at Chuck, and you know they're
still
size,
work.
they're size
exactly.
big up.
So that's really where I live, man. I couldn't get into the exotics until much later on.
So it's my first check, I went and bought the Black Hat 4s and 2 pair of white Air Force Ones.
Man, that's what it. I was ODing on Timberlands though. Like I had every flavor of Tim that you could possibly.
That's a New York thing.
It had to be.
Yeah.
That was also like a size thing because they always had those. that was
Timberlands
never
are
not
big
out.
as hell, bro. I feel like I wear like a 10 and a half in them.
That's why I felt seen, sir. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm 11 and a half. And I was like,
needed
man,
that.
I need to go like a whole size down.
You know, I needed that kind of situation, man, because this is the only way you could put the outfit together. I was like, all right, I can't get the
cab driver, man. This brother went on a Kango spree.
You a hater. He's a hater, man.
Looking like
He's a hater.
Common, Music Soul Child. Where the pictures at? Please let me see this.
there's some
I
pictures
got
out
you,
there.
bro. Don't worry.
I need to see this.
I got you, bro.
R&B tone.
He have flavors.
I had a moment, man. You know,
Bro, he have flavors like
you a hater.
stuff that was unimaginable. It's like I didn't even know they made that.
Common
Yeah.
did have a hat line for a little bit. It was a quick second, but you know, people
You was
were
on the
being
VIP
enterprising.
list.
Hey, man, you know, there's a bunch of fellas out there enterprising, man. I had to support the arts, much like you was. I was following him, like Water for Chocolate, and I was like, oh, hats, this makes sense.
I mean, Common's safe. You know, you can go to shows and you can
Right.
leave. All right, I know I'm gonna leave healthy.
yeah, you gonna be okay. You know, you just gonna be nice little something soft next to you somewhere. You know? Turned up.
Hey, don't get fired on your day off, all right? You take it easy.
We got TV time out. I know you had people that was coming from Atlanta and they was coming up here and like connecting you to different situations. How'd you find your New York community?
It was CT and Bryson. They were my anchors.
Okay. Shout out to CT for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Without them, I would have moved back to Atlanta for real.
Really?
Because the city is too big to be navigating by yourself and with like zero support. Like I have no family up and no blood relatives.
Right.
Up until my cousin Sanoa moved up here like a year ago, and she's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, baby like 25. None of my family from Puerto Rico migrated. They all stayed on the island.
Okay.
Like, they ain't never moved. Most of them, they moved due to military service, so they were just scattered wherever, Nevada, Texas, California. But yeah, everybody else is back on the island, so. Yeah.
Man, y'all landed here and had that same vibration of like, okay, let's keep each other accountable, let's keep each other moving and everything else.
Hold each other down.
Yeah, man, yeah, that's fantastic, bro. And it comes across, I go all the way back to the beginning, you can't have that kind of like relationship with the dozens and y'all going out and you going to play all the rest of that. It comes across in that 30 for 30.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's why I'm like, I brought that up because it's like, yo, this relationship I know is extending past this basketball court.
Oh, for sure. I know him about 12, 13 years by now.
Yeah, see?
It's literally like brothers. I have Jafari, who is my brother in Atlanta, but God bless me with Bryson and CT with more brothers.
Yeah, man.
My only childness has been gone away. I don't even feel like when people ask me like, oh, you only child? And I was like, no, I'm not. And I was like, oh shit, I am the only child from my mom and dad.
Yeah, technically, yes.
Technically, yes, but no, I'm not. I have brothers. Yeah.
Man, it's a richness to have feeling like that with people that you've gone out and sought, and they come together and have that same like mind, like spirit, you know? When you get an opportunity to provide chances like that for other people, what does that mean for you?
Feel good. Feel like paying it forward. You know, I feel like I'm able to like give back and like be there for somebody that I didn't have. Like I didn't have anyone that would like help navigate or like, you know, put me on plays and stuff like that. So I've been able to help out other people just off the strength of like, oh, I like your work. I like this, that, and the third. And I've been blessed through my network, but in terms of like almost like a mentorship and being able to like be a voice with some folks if they have a question or want how to navigate a situation, a lot of times I just kept hitting my head with a lot of things. Or when I did call up some folks, it's like, all right, I've never been in this situation, but it's been something similar and they can help me navigate it. Yeah. But it feels good, bro. Yeah, for real.
I love it, man. I said y'all starting that cultivating that Brooklyn Renaissance is a real thing that I see coming around there, man. And it's energetic, and this spring, like going into the summer season, it feels like it's alive and well, man.
Oh yeah, it's about to be turned.
Yeah,
you know when we thaw out, when that sun is up, it's up.
Yeah, man.
Because you know the New York, it's been a lot of changes going on, like in every city. You know, Atlanta's been heavy gentrified, New York been heavily gentrified, Chicago gentrified, LA gentrified. Like it's happening everywhere. So it's like wherever our pockets at that we still have, it's like we gotta like protect it and feed it and like really like nourish it and keep it going.
Part of the downside though is that when y'all do so much of this dope shit, y'all the reason why other people be coming from other places parking up. Hey, like wait, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, Tonkin's block
like,
party.
I want that. Yeah,
once I saw that on TikTok, I was like, yeah, this shit about to be shut down.
You see it.
It's over.
Tonight, last day of brew. It was like, you know, all of that stuff it's great while it's happening. I guess it's kind of like a truism about New York. You can't really capture that time frame. You can only be in observation of it. But somebody who is a photographer, you get to see some of this magic happening on the opposite side of your lens all the time.
It's like being a historian, bro. It's great.
Take me through that. Like, what's going on? Like, where do you find the energy, like the inspiration when you're taking these shots while this magic is happening in different situations?
Just the beautiful people. Like whenever I see like the energy, you see it around, it'll just kind of capture it itself. Like I remember one time we was at Brew, all the homies out there were just kicking it, and it wasn't like a block party, but the block was lit. And someone just got married, just drove by in a white Porsche Cayenne, literally parked it, hopped out, like grabbed a drink with us, chopped it up because the vibes were so good, just married and just kept going. I took a picture of it, like, yo, this car's nice. This is beautiful. Like, I love that. And just being, one is like, that's why I like buying a new iPhone, because sometimes I don't want to carry my camera all the time, but the phones are getting good enough now where it's like, oh, this is better than like a point and shoot. I can just carry this and be good. Yeah.
The curiosity is with you all the time, and the eye is with you all the time. So
Always.
The instrument could just switch in and out.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Give me an iPhone 3, I'll still cook up.
I like it. It's like catch a bucket on any side of the city, man.
It ain't gotta have. It can be a broken backboard. I'm like, you know, he's a shooter. We'll just go right in the rim.
Lay it up. Listen,
I understand now.
I'm curious about what success means to you and what does it look like present day? You know, you've found success in the video gaming world, in the sneaker world, in photography. What does that mile marker look like present day?
I would say out of my career, being an artist has definitely been the most challenging one because the inconsistency of the checks. So it definitely taught me how to manage my money a lot better.
Yeah.
Versus like blowing a check, you're like, I'm gonna blow it back. It's gonna come back. Now I'll get paid Friday. We gotta stay to this game plan.
Exactly.
We gotta see it through. There ain't no deviating because you deviate, it hurts later.
Yeah.
But it's been challenging, but it's been beautiful because now I'm at the point where it's like, all right, you know, rent's getting paid on time, you know, phone bill not getting cut off, accounts not in overdraft. So it's like, all right, we found a way where the turbulence has stopped. You know, of course, you know, you still have it, but at least it's not like a falling ship. So it's been beautiful in that. And I also just being an entrepreneur and having like the freedom as an artist, which I do enjoy. I do want a gig. You know, I wouldn't mind having like a little artistic gig, you know, something, you know, with consistency. But I definitely been loving the artist life. But also, you know, with older we get, I want to grow a family, things of that nature. So I realized, all right, unless I get to the point of like, you know, working big campaigns and fashion campaigns where I'm getting like 10K a day in that regard, and it's happened often, I know I got to like I got to be more logical about it. Yeah. Because things are going good right now because I ain't got no kids. But when you do have kids in there, everything changes.
Dog, in New York, that multiplier of whatever you think you need is going to be at least 4 or 5x that.
Yeah. And I ain't trying to be one of them, I used to live in New York dads. I want to be like, no, I'm a Brooklyn dad today, right now.
Living in New York.
There's
a lot of people surviving in New York. They ain't living. Like,
every day is a survival.
Yeah.
We black in America. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you ain't saying lie on that one at all. But yeah, similarly, man, I definitely want that same aspiration where it's kind of like I want the things that I love to be able to pay for a lifestyle where we tired of that damn moving on up side of it. I just want to be up. It's like this is the stand. We're not going any lower than this.
I don't need any more character development.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Feel like I got all the lessons.
Let me get some favor. Let me get some easy wins. Some blowout victories.
Tell the good Lord, take me off the strongest warrior list. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I did that.
I want that Patriots Titans score. I want that 59-0.
Yeah, man, run it up. Run it up all the way,
run
bro.
It up.
I can't get enough of that, man. So, Sergio, you told me the other day we was texting, going back and forth, and you told me a little bit about your like recovery and healing journey. Can you share a little bit about that with me?
Oh yeah, man. This is like the pre-birth of Recess Run Club.
Okay.
In Atlanta, on the Wesley Chapel, got hit by a tow truck. I was in Crown Vic, but he turned the Crown Vic into a coupe because a fire truck was coming, so I'm at a standstill. He just sees a green light, and he texting and driving. And there was a Chevy Cruze right next to me. I remember this Chevy Cruze because I was like, bro, that's a small-ass car. The whole time I was saying, that's a small-ass car. I would never drive a Chevy Cruze. Meanwhile, get hit. He was going like 50. I'm sitting still, so the Crown Vic turned into a coupe. I looked at my back seat, the trunk's back there. The spare tire's like right here, and I'm just like, man, I just got in a car accident. So I checked my body. I was like, all right, everything feels okay. We're not in any pain, but it could be shock. I get out and I fall. I was like, all right, so the leg's not working.
Yeah, that happens.
So it's something ain't right. Had I think it was the lumbar. I had a fracture in the lumbar. That's where the sciatic nerve. I think it's the L4 vertebrae. Yeah. Torn meniscus, torn MCL, fractured tibia, blood clots. I was down bad. I'm at the hospital, and then I was just telling him like, "Yo, can I run again?" He was like, "Yeah, your running career is over." And I was like, "Can I still have kids?" He was like, "Yeah, you're still fine in that regard." I was like, "Thank God."
All right.
That was it.
The levels, though.
That was it. That was the only two
I think
things.
the order would have been different for me, but yeah, I got you. You know
I mean, because
I
I was like, hey, everything else was fine. So I was all right. We'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
Life is going to be different. But, they gave me all these pain pills, bro. I'm talking like Percocet, oxycodone, hydrocodone, like all this stuff. I remember I was like, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain. So I took a pill, and then I remember I woke up in another bedroom. And I'm like, how did I get in here?
Yeah.
I asked my aunt, like, how did I get from the living room to here? She was like, you walked. And I was like, I don't remember any of this. Also, why is it sun out now?
Yeah.
After that, I was all right, I don't think this is for me. Still dealing with a lot of pain. I was really trying to not have surgery. I was trying to let me just see it through, but the spine was swollen, so it's like we can't really do anything till the swelling goes down. I remember being upstairs at my brother's crib, and I couldn't get down the stairs, so wherever I was at, that was it. So I was in a lot of discomfort and pain, and he passed me a blunt, bro. He passed me blunt. He's like, I know the pills ain't working, this and the third. I know you don't want to take that and get addicted because addiction has like killed a lot of my family members. So I was like, I'll just see it through. And I didn't have any feeling in my feet at the time, so it was very much numb. Like I had feelings in like my leg, but everything down, it was like very wobbly. Had a walker the whole nine. And once he gave me that, I smoked the entire thing, and I was not smoking before this, by the way. And I woke up the next morning, and I was like, oh, I felt like feeling in my feet again. And I was at that moment, I was like, this is a long journey ahead, but I was like, I feel like we can make a comeback.
Yeah, man, that's big. That's big. I know I briefly shared with you some of the parallels that we have in that story, but both of us in this room have a lot of parallels with what you just said in terms of the recovery part, being in the hospital. First of all, some of them hospital days, it's some of the worst situations you could be in inside of New York City. You see damn near everything going on.
Bro, don't go to Queens. Don't go to the hospital in Queens.
Bro, I had surgery during the pandemic. I woke up in a hallway.
And
I was like, what is happening? And it was like, oh, it was COVID too.
Right.
So it's like, I'm on my own isolated floor, and we're like in the hallways, and I'm just like, this is insane. And then they sent me home the same day with like morphine.
Right.
And it was like, yeah, take this. You have someone there to manage it for you. And I was like, yes, because otherwise they're like, yo, you're going to be gone. You're out of there. Yeah. So my girl took care of me, and in that regard, I love it to this day. Danielle, thank you.
Much love.
Thank you for holding me down.
Yeah.
And, you know, just all the support from everyone. It's like all them days in PT, bro. A 21-month recovery.
What was the biggest thing you learned about yourself during that time?
Man, we got that motherfucking wolf in us.
Oof.
Ain't got no dog. We got a dire wolf.
Come on. It takes a lot, man. It takes a lot out of you. I also turned to more conscious cannabis use after I got hit. And a lot of the similar injuries, not the lumbar, but I had the unhappy triad that they call that, PCL, MCL, and ACL, all jacked up on his right side, 5 broken bones in the foot. And the whole idea around not being able to feel the floor, still to this day, is on and off. But that conscious consumption does help me feel more. A lot of people misinterpret that I'm doing this to not feel anything, or I'm doing this to numb like some other type of pain, which some people do turn towards that direction. Yeah. But proprioception has always been something that I feel more connected to in an elevated state, especially when I was doing the recovery in that PT route. You talking about doing the same little monotonous, like, all right, I'm gonna curl his pinky. Yeah. Eventually it's gonna turn into, I'm gonna curl his whole foot, toe over and all the rest of that. The only way that I was making that mind and muscle connection and be able to lock in on that, like a towel crunch for however many reps you need to do that to get up and all the rest of that, it was imperative because I also lost too many people to the opioids that have been plaguing a lot of my family for too long as well. Yeah. I could not consciously take anything that was going to lead me down that path too, man. So I understand that walk. I understand the wolf that gets born from that side because, you're going to have to tap into a lot of different levels of energy to keep you going forward, to be honest with you. Yeah. What's something that you do for your mental and, like, your spiritual health as you go along that process? Like, to this day or during it? Give me both. Man, during it, it was just, I just take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one exercise at a time. I was like, I know this is a long journey. I'm just happy I'm not paralyzed. Yeah. In the back of my head, I was like, I'm thankful, I'm grateful. Like, it could have been a lot worse. I could have been dead. I could have been paralyzed. A lot of things could have happened, but it didn't. So I looked at that. I was like, all right, this is a win. We're going to make that comeback, and we're going to get back out there. And also, like, the doctor telling me that, it really rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah. It pissed me off, bro. And my girl tell you, she was like, the one thing I don't like about you is your pettiness. But I'm just like, bro, it's like, it might be an Atlanta thing. I don't know.
It's fuel.
It was fuel, but I was like, that pettiness done got me where I needed to. It's a good tool, for real. Man, it's something about the people that grew up in that Michael Jordan era, like, taking that shit personally. It was personal. Bro, when I ran to Chicago, so I did a Chicago marathon I got cleared July 2021, and I did a Chicago marathon September 2022. Because my doctor was like, that's a little bit too close of a window. I just cleared in July. You're not going to run a marathon in September. Yeah. Get right, straighten up, and we'll see how you are. As soon as I got done with that Chicago marathon, I called the doctor in Atlanta. I was like, nah, you hearing this out. He didn't answer. Called him again, and then he finally answered. He called me back. I called him before I called my girl. I'm like, nah, nigga, you going to see this.
Look at this medal. Look at it. You hear that?
You said I couldn't do it. It's a world major, boy. Yeah. It's a world major.
That's what's up, man.
Then did Boston 2 years later. So now I'm on a quest to just finish all the world majors.
Yeah.
Now that we healthy and we can do it.
What was your favorite city to run in just over your journeys right now?
By far, New York City.
Okay.
New York City. It's New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wasn't even living in New York at the time when I ran the when I ran the New York Marathon. It was 2015. I was still in Atlanta. But when I ran it, I was just like, nah, I gotta live here.
Wow.
And I actually had a job interview with Foot Locker during that window of the marathon that I came up here. So I had packed like running clothes, some drip, and a suit. I was like, hey man, we leaving here with something.
Yeah.
We left here with a lot. We left here with a job and a medal.
I'm from around the way.
Man. Leaving with something. I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, they coming off of that 59th Street Bridge. Energy is a little different first time, and you looking around, you like, yeah, nah, I can do this. I'm here.
Bro, it was just running through Brooklyn. I remember I had headphones on, and then like I had some connection issue, and I took it off, and it was like a rotor crowd, like. I was like, oh, this is like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is lit. People cheering, people yelling. And when I ran through like the Puerto Rican neighborhoods, it was love. It was a salsa, and I was just like, yo, Wepa, Puerto Rico. And then when it was like, oh, he's one of us. He's a little darker than we're used to, but he's one of us.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
They see it, man. That's love over there. You go through the Bushwick areas and all of that. Running through Brooklyn, going through the Puerto Rican neighborhood, see that pride, you see everything else. I hear that's the energy that's going to come into the next run that you're going to do. So it's going to be that same kind of love and Latin flair while you're doing that health and wellness, man. What's that make you feel like bringing that into the culture?
I love it because I feel like, and I tell this all the time, I feel like I'm like the apex of culture being black and Puerto Rican. It's like being Latin and black. It's like, it's a cheat code. Like if I had an Asian ancestor in there somewhere, then it's bro,
he's unlocked.
You're the avatar, bro.
He really is the airbender.
You're the avatar. Like, get out of here.
Firebender.
For real.
Yo.
You know, just growing up in Atlanta, there was not much of a connection to like my Latin side. Like if I wanted to go to a Latin party, I had to drive like an hour and a half up to Gwinnett and be up there. And then there was like heavy Mexicans. And there was, a couple of Puerto Ricans in there. But I was like, hey man, hell, we all speaking Spanish. I don't know what none of y'all saying. Y'all don't know what I'm saying because my southern draw too strong. But we're gonna party and have a good night.
Yeah.
And that was like the closest I give it. I was like, bro, I can't do this drive back home fucked up like this. So that was very far experiment. That not happen that often. But Atlanta has grown since then.
Yeah.
Now I got spots in the city where I can go and like catch a vibe. But in New York, where it's been, a century that we've been here, and it's so like ingrained in the culture and synonymous, it was like it hit different because I feel like I get to celebrate both my sides,
man,
and also just being exposed to like my culture. Like it was definitely like, I mean, being on to Puerto Rico is cool, but it was always for like, oh yeah, I'm here for 2 weeks and it's like all baseball. I'm here at like my aunt's house, and then she's like, oh, you're only going to be in this little block. But actually, like being as an adult and getting to expose the culture as a whole, it was beautiful to me.
Man.
Like my first time I went to Puerto Rican Day Parade, it was 2017, bro. I cried. I was crying that thing because I never seen anything like that. And the girl was like, "Are you okay?" Like total stranger. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. This is the first time being exposed to something like this on this magnitude.
Yeah,
where it's like all my people everywhere." I felt like Superman if he found Krypton. You know?
Yeah, the pride is definitely something that is on the forefront of everything. You can feel the New Yorican soul inside of the city anytime this time of the year comes around. But it's always like anytime you're running through a neighborhood too, you see the flags outside the window, all different cultures.
I got a flag in my window.
Come
big
on
flag.
now.
I ain't got no drape. It's just a big Puerto Rican flag.
Let you know. Here we go.
Yeah. Especially on my block, when me in our building, me and my girl are the only people of color in our building.
Okay.
So I definitely be serenading the whole building with like, some soul, some trap heavy, and definitely like some Spanish music, bro.
You gotta let them know what they moved over here for.
Yeah, I was like, this what you got? What up, neighbor? What's happening?
Yeah, man. You usher them in, welcoming in, and embrace the cultures that you found when you came here. That's
absolutely. We did a Black History Month run too. We ran to not as well known black parks that are in Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
Like, there's Jesse Owens, there's Crispus Attucks, and then obviously Herbert Von King.
Yeah.
So I had them running around as like a scavenger hunt. You go there, you see a sticker, you take a picture. It just so happened on February 19th, 2025, it wanted to be the coldest day in New York in like 6 years. The wind, it was like -18 with the wind chill, and I was like, hey, look, we double time it. We got to wrap this up. Like, my hand was like hurting.
Yeah, I've been on that. I definitely did a ride earlier this year. It was like, I can't close my hands on my brakes, and this is not a good sign because it's time for me to wrap this up.
It was cold. I just feel happy to be able to like just celebrate my culture with everybody.
Yeah, man.
And our culture,
For sure, man. Anywhere that there's gonna be platinum notes and collard greens coming together, I'm gonna be there, bro. I want to be at that intersection too, Kyle.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my like double sazon barbecue flavor down pat.
I'm here for this, man.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but I'm definitely trying to experiment and like cook it up.
So while you cooking this up, right? We need to land this on a block party at some point in time, because the thing that I'm seeing missing from the market, Serge, to be honest with you, like the clubs all have, you got a space to meet up, you got a space, to run to or any of that. I want a hub where you can find that vibe all the time. It's like, yo, where's the kickback with the food? Where the running homies can come, walk, like whatever you was doing. You was on some healthy. This is a restaurant, but it's a restaurant for people who is going to bring a whole table of people. It's like, yo, this is fast casual dining, but it's fast casual for like, here's your crew. Come inside here, grab a plate. Y'all can share a community kind of style. I'm looking for that in the style. I haven't seen it just yet.
One thing I learned when I first moved to New York is how small it is, everything here. My house in Atlanta was like 4,000 square feet, and I moved to a 600 square foot apartment. So
yeah,
it was very much like a culture shock in terms of space, but I got very good at geometry because of that.
See, that's where the Pythagorean theorem come back up, though. See,
hey, man, that was all the years of Dr. Mario on the Nintendo.
There we go. That's the real fix.
Yeah, that's the real fix. I mean, I feel like it just has, it gotta be like the space. I feel like there's not a lot of like space like that. Like there's space in Mexico City to do stuff like that. I don't really see a lot of like spots like that we can just do that in New York. And also New York, everyone, they're all to themselves. They want to mind, everyone mind their own business and shit.
Right.
Like, so like sharing a common table. Some people might be having have some bad energy. It's like, I don't want to share that. You too close.
Yeah, I feel it. And I'm going to put out my manifestation powers, because I feel like that's also another thing that I keep hearing in this, having that wolf in you, having that vision that it's going to happen and not even going to have a doubt of that. I want there to be a space that we can cultivate around that thought and that
What's
process.
The closest thing that you know of right now?
I haven't seen it, dog. A place where community can intersect with good food and like a space that's not going to be exclusionary, so making it inclusive is going to be the thing that makes it hard to get that space and get the type of atmosphere to go around. And then also, if you do make it exclusive, it's going to be something that most people that I would want to come in there can't afford.
Exactly. And that's always like the double-edged sword in New York. Like you have Time Out Market, which they do have their commercials, community style seating.
Yeah.
But then every plate like $25.
Yeah, for like
a burger.
Like a lunch plate or something like that.
3 tacos, $21.
Yeah, like $30. You before you even get a whole meal out, you down 30,
That's not
35.
The beverage. That ain't dessert. That ain't the alcohol.
That ain't your girl's food neither. That's just you by yourself.
That's you. Solo.
Now you done said some shit right there.
You double
I'll
up,
talk
man.
about it.
Paying
I'll talk
for
about
the
it.
lady, man.
Yeah, you gotta take the new approach to chivalry, man. You gotta be a modern man.
Hey, I'll do what I can when I can, but when I can't, it ain't happening.
Hey, man, I'm here for that. I support this. I'm on that side.
It is
bro.
what it is. Babe,
Amen.
you got a higher batting average than I do, babe.
You up? Come on.
You up? You know what it is.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get paid till August, bro.
Right.
Everything on you.
You make it work, man. So, Serge, I know we've been, just weaving together a beautiful story about where you come from with the passions, like what your different interests are, and like how you show up and how you serve, and even how you like kind of refill your cup a little bit when you're getting into different atmospheres and different communities. Like, what's something that you want to do with the Recess Run Club this year, or what's something that's on the list of stuff that you're looking forward that you're going to accomplish in the upcoming months?
One thing I want to do, I'm gonna keep it close to the heart till I do it.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be one thing. But I mean, I'm definitely, you can kind of see it happening right now.
Okay.
But that's gonna be a world where I bridge a lot of things together. But honestly, I just want to keep inspiring people to be healthy. Moving their body. That's honestly my goal. A lot of people ask, like, well, what's the goal? What do you want to take Recess? More people to be healthier, more people to run, pull up and run with us, catch a vibe.
Yeah.
Also, working with a lot of like the partners that we have, it's always like a good look. So I always tell people, like, more people that show up and support us, we get more support from like outside like sources as well. And it's like, it's been beautiful all around. Like the coffee shop that we like partner with, they're a new coffee shop in Bed-Stuy now. Their Padmore's is a staple.
Hell yeah,
and
man.
that happened so beautifully where they reached out to us to have like a home base. And now it's like, all right, this is our second event in 4 months that we're having out of Padmore's, and it's been beautiful. I've been loving everything. really just to grow it, expand, doing, more things like yoga. We have a kickboxing class coming up.
Okay.
And it's really trying to like hammer in like the wellness side.
Hey, man.
And, especially with me being very pro cannabis, I want to really kind of like let people know the wellness behind it. How it helps with the inflammation, how it helps with blood flow, it helps with, neuropathy, it helps with fibromyalgia, lupus. There's so many like ailments that it has, bro.
Anything inflammatory related, it's going to be on that space.
Yeah, and people ask me like, well, how you have asthma? Like, why are you doing this? And it's just like, well, it's an anti-inflammatory, so it doesn't affect you like nicotine and everything else. How that causes cancer and kills you.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to see that mindset of the prohibition era is starting to be eradicated, and it's starting to become a little bit easier for people to walk in. Like, I'm in Bodega, I'm chilling with Lou and Al, and I'm seeing Park Slope moms pull up in there. I'm seeing people that you would never expect to be looking for exactly what you're talking about. It's like, yo, I have trouble sleeping. Like, I'm gonna come in here for it. Like, all the rest of the stuff is cool, but can you give me something that's gonna help me with my back pain? Can you give me something that's going, like, I need a topical for whatever else is going on? So yeah, it's an amazing time, and it's still going to take some hand holding for people to get over that like first step.
Because it's a stigma.
Yeah.
Like, my aunt was calling it like devil's lettuce. And I was like, nah, mama, this is heaven's lettuce.
Yeah.
Let's take this edible together and let's see how you sleep tonight.
Right? Come on,
She
man.
woke up the next morning. My uncle was like, look, I don't want you turning my wife to a druggie, but she has not been fussing at me in the last 4 days, so let's make sure we keep this.
Whatever this was,
let's keep this in supply. Let's keep it on hand. I was like, I got you.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, dog.
Yeah, she slept better. The arthritis, it don't hurt like that. Like,
same situation, man. Definitely, my mom's dealing with fibromyalgia, had all different types of long-term issues that's happened with diabetes, right? Yeah. So with that, everything gets inflamed. Everything is going to be kind of achy and pain. I'm telling you, a nighttime gummy that's not going to spike your insulin right before you go to bed. It's going to be something that's going to be calming. It took a lot of coaxing, but now I get calls all the time. Hey, when you gonna give me some more? Like, I need some more. What's going on? My grandmother hit me up. Shout out to grandma. She was like, you and Kyle gonna do this crab and reefer party at some point?
Stop telling people, bro, and tell us out.
We gotta do a crab boil and reefer party. That's on
see.
We got another attendee. Now we gotta get the adobo and the sazon on the other side. And we got the bachata barbecue. All this stuff is mixing together.
Now it's a block party now.
See?
It's a block party.
That's the space that I wanted to get into, man.
We just gotta close out a block party. We need to holler at Tonita. She knows she on Grand Street.
Let's get it, man. Yeah. We got Hassan. Hassan is personally responsible for the population boom that's going to happen 9 months from today with his parties that he throws over there. So if we got a DJ that's on the mix too, man, we got a few people in the round.
We have everything we need right here.
It's going.
We don't need to outsource. We got everything in house.
There we go. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah.
Energy up, and the cannabis world is going to be something that's expensive, and I definitely see them more than other companies, man. I'm telling you right now, they're looking for a lot of the same kind of similar aspects of, they make all these wellness promises. They don't have wellness people in front of them. Right. I know that door is wide open. So
it is wide open. Like, I'm walking and running because of cannabis, bro.
Yeah.
The pain cream, the soaks, like everything, the topical, the edibles, the oils, like all this. I used to be making cannabis tea just to help me. Ginger, turmeric, put a couple drops in there.
Yeah,
Next you know, it's like, I'm feeling very good right now. Like, the pain is subdued.
I'm happy to hear that, brother. I'm happy to hear that you are not just feeling better, and you're also sharing that message with the people. You're going to be able to keep them empowered and keep them motivated, as just continuing to cultivate that new forefront of what's happening next, man.
Yeah. It's still a little tricky because I got a cousin in California still serving time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
On a 3-strike rule on some bullshit.
Yeah.
With the 8th.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm on Tompkins and the cop give me a lighter because my Zippo ran out of gas.
Yeah, exactly.
And that helped me spark a blunt. I'm just like, this is
crazy.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, man. I've been to a couple of trade shows, and I'm seeing at the trade shows it play out in real time. It's like, oh, you got legacy drug dealers here who are completely about the drug dealing game, and then you got a bunch of people in here that are completely about none of this at all. They're just kind of like eyes open, like, hey, I'm coming in, I got bags of money, tell me where to put this, tell me where to go with this, tell me what's going on this front. And it's a commodity today. To see it be like a openly traded commodity is still mind-blowing.
I wish we still had more of a forefront in it, because we were always the community got affected the most by it.
Yeah.
And now we're still like, all right, well, probably first black-owned dispensaries, or the first dispensaries in New York to actually get a license. I know one was near Astor Place, and I think that was like a LGBTQ.
Yeah, the Housing Works.
Housing Works.
Housing Works is a non-profit spot, yeah.
And then it was Smack Village.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate New York actually, like, all right, we're going to actually, kind of like try to at least balance it out a little bit. Yeah. It was definitely, we were getting a lot of favor in terms of that regard.
New York has an interesting system. It's a complicated system, but I can see that as it's evolving, they're trying their best. And just like everything else, when you create a game and you create some rules to the game, somebody's going to be out there playing that game at a whole different type of time, a whole different type of tempo, and they're going to play it to the T, but they're going to play it in a way that sometimes could be demonstrative to some of the people that it was supposed to be benefited for, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So some of the rules that's written into play, you start to look behind the curtain on certain things. It's kind of like, wait, hold on. This what we're selling in this window dressing isn't what we're selling behind the counter, isn't what we're giving to the community. And sometimes, that disalignment ends up being impacted by what you see in the in-store experience.
Yeah, like Chief Keef said, industry full of lanes. You got to play the game like you Kobe.
Come on, man. It's very few and far between that could put that number 8 or that number 24 on.
Yeah. If you get that Mount Mama mentality, you just got to apply it. Like, it's not just a sports. It's apply to other areas of like, shit, if you going for that doctorate, it's lock the fuck in.
I feel you, bro. You need that mentality. You need to be able to be versatile, and you need to be able to pull together a strong team. It sounds like it's always something that you got going around you, Serge.
Absolutely.
Man, all right, bro. You blessed us with a lot today.
Thank you.
I want to finish off with a couple of quick questions that are just at the top of mind. I just need to know, what's your favorite fighting game of all time, bro?
Tekken 3.
Tekken 3. Who was the character in that game that you would pay to lace somebody up?
Wrong and Eddie Gordo.
Okay.
Even to this day, I was on Tekken 8 just baptizing folks. For sport.
10-hit combo, just throw them down.
For sport. My favorite thing to do is to challenge my nephew and his friends and just demolish them.
They don't know no better.
They talk so much shit, though. I bet.
Let's do it.
Step in the ring. Send them out.
Was you a first-person shooter person at all?
Oh, yeah.
Favorite first-person shooter all the time?
Oh, man. Halo 3 and Modern Warfare 2.
Halo 3 was up there for me. It changed a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
That dropped my GPA. Halo 3 dropped my GPA. So
just straight up.
It's always going to have that point.
Yeah.
I almost lost a scholarship off of Halo 3.
All right. Best sporting game all time?
Madden 2004.
Was that the Ludacris on the intro?
Killer Mike.
Okay.
Michael Vick was on the cover.
Yeah.
World. And NBA 2K20.
2K20. 20 is a little past me. I don't know who's on that.
No, I'm tripping. NBA 2K 2009 was Kevin Garnett. I think 2010 was Kobe. 2K11.
Okay.
NBA 2K11, because that was Michael Jordan.
I was rocking, when I was still playing the basketball games, he was just player 23 on the Chicago Bulls.
No, he was player 99.
Player 99.
Couldn't even use 23 because he had that locked down.
That's right. Jordan had you playing with this bald man and they have no facial features.
Generic
nothing going on.
Hey, man.
But busting ass out there. It's
he was teaching you about business. That's what he was standing on it.
Standing on it.
You couldn't do nothing with that image. He's like, that man was like a thumb out there crossing you up.
I used to create Michael Jordan and put him on the Bulls and then play. And then I would create myself and put him at small forward and put him on the Bulls too. 299s. I ain't had Scottie Pippen. They ain't need him.
Double
they had
up,
me.
Man. Get Scottie out the box, yo.
Yeah, Scottie would come off the bench if I had fatigue on.
All right, man. My last little quick one. I want to go. I know you gave us a lot of different shoe culture. Favorite pair to run in right now?
I have a good shoe rotation. I'm very grateful of the blessings that I've got. For marathon, I'll have to go the Nike Alpha Fly 3.
Okay.
Every day, I've been enjoying the Rebel, just for like everyday runs, the New Balance Rebel V4. Okay. I just go out and run. For tempo runs, I like the Zoom Fly 6 from Nike. That's like one of the new joints I've been enjoying. I like the Super Blast for like long miles because it's just like a workhorse shoe. And I've really been liking the Pegasus Premium. I know you said favorite one right now.
Yeah, but you went through them.
Yeah,
I
don't have just like a favorite.
You got
I have
rotation,
like a lot.
man.
Yeah,
The sneakerhead is still alive and well.
Yeah,
bro.
but now it's like it's performance.
Yeah.
Now it's performance. I've always been like an Alpha Fly guy. I see you got the Alpha Flies on.
Yeah, man. I had to cop a pair to slowly ease back into my running career.
And I'm also very pro carbon plate.
Okay.
And because the carbon plate doesn't, the energy return don't go up, bro. I'm very pro.
It's crazy. I was walking here in the sprint.
You just started bouncing.
Yeah, it was propelling his ass forward.
Legitimately.
All right, man. I gotta check them out, bro. I think that was it for my rapid fire. If you could leave us, Sergio, with something that people out there who, after they've heard your story about all the different ways that you've manifested your life today, and they're looking to get started out, right? What's something that somebody can do off the strength to get them in the best position to have that same kind of, wolf-like mentality, to believe in themselves, to be able to manifest what their next chapter in their life is going to do? What's something that you would tell them?
Lead with love.
Okay.
Definitely lead with love. You gotta love what you're doing. You gotta love yourself, and you gotta love why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And you may or may not have to be a little psychotic or delirious to see yourself in a position that doesn't exist. So you have to create it and make it happen yourself. Man,
so we're going to be leading with love, and we're going to keep leading that.
I know you be struggling with that from time to time.
What you mean, leading with love?
Yeah, man.
You a hater. This brother over here has been hating on my return to running in general. Every single time we got somebody on here that's running, Serge.
Well, now all y'all can come run.
Look at that.
And pull up and try some New Balance.
Now
he just catch me in the back.
Listen, if y'all got it.
I'll be in the back with you.
Okay.
And let the music propel to the front.
I'll be in the back too, and if they bring out some big sizes, you might have me out there, bro.
We do have big sizes. We got your size.
They be hating on the 14s out here, bro.
Some 14s.
All right,
I know Tia got the 14s.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm down to try them out, man. I'm coming through. I'm going to make it happen. Serge, before we get up out of here, you got to let the good listeners know where they could find you, where they could tap in with what you got going on. And please, one more time, give me the rundown for what's happening with the Puerto Rican Day Parade run.
All right, so you can catch me personally at Sergio Santos on the gram, but the G is a 6, so it's SER6IO.
Okay.
Santos. Recess Run Club NYC on all platforms. And this Saturday, June 7th, 8 a.m., Padmore's in Bed-Stuy, Puerto Rican Day run. I would love to see all my Boricuas, all my Latinos, all my black people, all my white people, all my Asian people, just everybody. Just pull up and let's just celebrate, dance a little salsa, some reggaeton. Drink some coffee, have some breakfast empanadas, and just have a vibe. A beautiful day.
What time you kicking that off?
8 a.m.
They be there.
8 a.m. We running like 8:30, 8:45, and we should be back. Well, depending on how fast we run, but we should be back by like 9.
Okay.
10.
Depending on how you feeling. If they got a 14, man, I'm running with you.
We got 14, so I'm going to expect your face there.
I'm doing it.
Let's do it.
No issues, man. Kyle, you coming out?
You know I got to teach my yoga class, baby.
You heard him talking.
I teach on yoga on Saturdays.
You said you was going to need a yoga instructor, right? So we're going to try to connect this dots one time, but he was talking extra spicy. I just said, well, I'm pulling up. I don't know.
Yeah, so
we're gonna see.
Because Tia said you did a sound bath yoga session.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We tapped in, man. Come on,
Let's connect these damn dots, fellas.
Let's do it.
That's it from my side. Again, Sergio, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing everything with us. This is the first, but it's going to be of many, brother, because, again, I know we building something that's going to be important going forward, man. I can't wait to share it with the rest of the world, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to get a shout-out to my good friend Alejandro. Thank you for connecting me with my Puerto Rican heritage on the island. If it wasn't for you, none of this shit would be existing.
Much love.
And shout-out to my brother Edgar.
Family sentiment all throughout the episode, man. Love, 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 Sergio. Once again, it's been another fantastic episode of Off the Strength. I'm a trainer called Tony.
KR Jones.
Peace and much love to y'all out there. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Peace.
What's good, everybody? I'm a trainer called Tony, and I am here from the infamous Off the Strength podcast, asking you today, listeners, viewers, wherever you may be, to please like, listen, and subscribe to our podcast. This is how we're going to continue to be able to deliver you the best goddamn wellness information out here. So if you want to keep hearing this and you want us to keep growing, you are a part of this show just as much as anything else. So please go to offthestrength.com. Make sure you check out our blogs. Make sure you check us out on IG. And if you're hearing this voice and you didn't hit that subscribe button, know that Kyle is going to come looking for you. You got that, bro?
That was my shit. And I ain't know Spanish. I didn't know nothing about nothing.
Man.
I just felt it. I just knew it was something there.
Probably the African Boricua ancestors That's the connection.
It was calling
Facts.
you. He was like, wait a second, hold on, I feel it.
You know that ship stopped in Puerto Rico first before it came to America.
See, we be having this conversation with Kyle, but Kyle just be lumping us all together.
Look, bro, I'm a nigga, man. And, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of diversity here.
Or fortunately.
You know, unfortunately, like, yo, where you from, son? I'm from B-More. Where your parents from? They from B-More. How about they parents? Slave ship, South Carolina, bro. I don't got it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
unfortunately.
When people ask me that question, I'm like, which side are we talking about?
Yeah, same.
One side, I can track it back a couple hundred years. The other side is like, hey, bro, it's going to stop when you hit the slave ships.
Somewhere in the South. I don't know much past that.
Little South Carolina.
It started in Georgia.
Yeah.
That I do know. We landed in Georgia. We ain't fucking left since.
No,
We did take over a plantation in Savannah, though.
So I was going through the 30 for 30 that y'all had.
Oh, yeah.
And he got you tagged as Picture Man in there. I was like,
Because,
where's that come from?
Because I'm from East Atlanta, and
Yeah,
Gucci's
yeah.
from East Atlanta.
Gucci man.
Okay,
Gucci
okay.
man, so
Flair.
Picture Man.
So Picture Man. Okay,
But like for the
okay.
photo, that was like a one-off nickname that just didn't stick.
You got to see those. It's like, how did you post this
Did
up?
you see the 30 for 30 though with me and Bryson?
This is the most hysterical thing that I have ever seen. I'm trying to do some research for you, sir. And I'm looking back and I'm like, all right, what is this 30 for 30 11-8 series about? And I click on the YouTube, and when I tell you, it's the most shit talkingest like bet made between two friends that I've never seen.
Sound like my kind carrying on.
That is shot like a documentary. So it's a doc about when we talk about, yo,
Yeah, that nigga ain't shit.
he ain't gonna get no bucket. It's literally that. And they're cutting to the scenes of the game going back and forth. Yo, how did that come about?
Bro,
What's going
Bryson
on?
was cooking me, bro. Bryson was cooking me. We was, there was some women there, and I was just taking on the chin. I was like, man, it's like I'm just getting punched. I ain't got nothing to do, so I was just threw a Hail Mary. I was like, I could beat you in basketball. I grew up playing baseball, y'all. I ain't played basketball, organized basketball a day in my life. I knew I was over my head. Bryson played, all the way up through his life. And I'm just like, man, I'm about to be cooked, and he embarrassing me in front of these girls.
Yikes.
But hey,
That's not the way it played out, man.
it ain't. I locked the fuck in, goddamn it.
Okay. Listen.
Yo, when I tell you, amazing story. I just had to get into that because it set the tone for me to be like, yo, I love the energy that y'all create around anytime y'all bringing people together. Even when it's in that competitive nature, it still was super fun. The edit is hysterical.